All right, in this problem, we're going to be looking at calculating the volume of water in a reservoir. In this particular problem, we're going to be looking at a cylindrical shape, the shape of many of our reservoirs. We're given the dimensions of it. We've got 30-foot height and we've got a 75-foot diameter. Remember, these reservoirs can store anywhere from hundreds of gallons to literally millions of gallons. 75-foot diameter, 30-foot height. We want to know the volume in both cubic feet and gallons. So make sure you're paying attention to those units. Now, when it comes to volume of a cylinder, the easiest way to go about it is to grab your formula sheet from the state. Right up on the top here in the volume section, it literally says cylinder, comma, volume, comma, gallons in the older formula sheet. The new formula sheet has the same thing. It's up here in the center. It's the volume of a cylinder in gallons. Now that's the key there, is remember that you're using that formula to figure it out in gallons. So let's look at it step by step. So the formula we use here in our water math is 0.785 times the diameter squared times the height times 7.48. So this is how it's written on your formula sheet, keeping in mind that this part tells me the area of that circle. Adding the height gets me to a volume in cubic feet. Timesing by 7.48 converts it to gallons. So make sure you know which units you're trying to go to. That's going to have a big impact. So let's take a look. 0.785 times my diameter, which is 75 feet, times 75 feet. I can write 75, that'd be great. Times 75 feet, times my height of 30 feet. Now I want to just stop there because there are going to be times where you're calculating this volume in gallons and cubic feet only, and then having to convert. So 0.785 times 75 times 75 times 30. This gets me to 132,468.75 cubic feet, right? I've got feet, feet, and feet. So we need to make sure we're focusing on those units, cubic feet. So this might be where we stop in some of the problems. If we're asked to find it in gallons, that's where we're going to add on that 7.48. Why is that? Remember that there's 7.48 gallons for every 1 cubic foot. This allows me to cancel out cubic feet. I'm left with just gallons. Again, I've got that number in my calculator, times 7.48, assuming I can punch it in correctly. I get 990,866.25 gallons. Now, if your number is slightly different from this, not a big deal, right? Where you decide to round, as long as you're not like, oh, there's 990,000 gallons. Well, that's a bit of a round. When it comes down to single gallons or even less than a gallon, it's very minute compared to the scale, right? We're talking about 1,000,000 gallons almost in this tank. Okay, so that is calculating volume of a cylinder based on you looking at either cubic feet as your units or gallons.